Hello and welcome to Aurora for X C Sharp Uncut. This will be a new series that I will be making on the channel, which will essentially just be me playing the game and just playing how I normally would. There's going to be no story to this really. There may be, obviously, this is Aurora as the game picks up, but I'm just going to be making a new race, random race there's, playing the game, doing ship design, stuff like that. This will be primarily just unedited content. I put a community post out, I believe, a couple of days ago saying that I was thinking about doing a series like this. And this will just be about getting content out for you guys to watch if you do so enjoy. Maybe you can learn a few things or just carry on and watch stuff with me. There will obviously be this will be one series. There will be another series coming out eventually, and that will be, and I'm going to announce it now. The name of the series is going to be Aurora for C# Shattered Empire, so I'm sure you can take some inferment from what kind of series that will be. But that will be story based. That'll build on from the last series, New Horizons, and it will feature more editing and all that kind of stuff. So you're interested in more of that side of the game, then that series will be coming out hopefully later this month. But for anyone who just wants to watch some Aurora, that's what this is going to be. So let's make a new race. I'm thinking today I want to play a race that starts in Seoul and there's a lot of carrier-based stuff. I want to do like a United States doctrine. I want to have a Coast Guard. I want to do all these different things. And yeah, that's really what I want to aim for this campaign. I'm not sure if we're going to start in TN or conventional. I'm thinking of going for TN here because I think research speed will just... I want to lower the research speed, and TN is generally better when you do that. But yeah, so we're going to call this... what should we call this? YouTube Game 2. So this is just going to be one of my game. I have various games that I play with Aurora, and so this will be my main one now. I think let's start in a nice year. I think 2130 is good. I'm going to turn off starting non-player races just because I don't really want the lag, and they can obviously encounter other NPRs. Of course, the generation I think will stay the same. In terms of this, there's not. Also, yes, we are also on 1.13. If I didn't mention that, 1.13 did drop in April, and so it's now out and all that good stuff. So there's a few new options and there's a lot of new cool things that I'll be trying out. I'm not going to turn on invaders. I think I like precursors, Starswarm, and Rakazon. We can also turn on if we want them to generate any of these. I think MPRs I don't want MPR generating anything because I think that would just cause issues with lag, and I don't really want that to be a problem. Difficulty modifier, I'm going to go for 120%, so that will just give more stuff to the MPRs when they do spawn. Research speed, I'm going to go for 20%. You may think, oh wow, that's really low. The reason you'd go for 20% research speed is because it not only slows you down, but slows the MPR down. And on top of that, it makes the game feel a lot slower. So you're not obsoleting new ship designs constantly. Research matters more. Constructs matter more. Ruins matter a lot. You have generations of ships instead of 5 years of ships. And it just makes it more interesting. Of course, it can slow the game down to a point where it's not enjoyable, and that's where we talk about like conventional start. You don't really want that. We're going to go for 20% survey speed as well. Similar reasons to why I would like low research speed. Low survey speed will allow me to make surveying a more bigger investment, right? You have to have dedicated survey ships, refueling, all this kind of stuff, instead of just one ship can survey a system in like a couple months, okay? So it's a yearly endeavor to properly survey a large system. Then we're going to also turn down terraforming, just because, honestly, it doesn't make a lot of sense to be able to terraform Mars in like 3 years. So I'm going to set that there. Everything else looks fine to me. We're going to go for known star systems, and let's create our game. So this series, as I said, is just going to be me playing. So if you just want to watch that, this is what it's going to be. No promises on anything exciting. It's just going to be gameplay. and all that cool stuff. And I'm just going to be trying to enjoy my time. Maybe if you guys want to suggest things that I do in the game or whatever, feel free to. I'm always up for comments. But yeah, so let's create our empire. I'm thinking we do like a Federalist Republic kind of empire. So I'm going to call this the Federalist Republic of Earth. Okay? And then we're going to call it the FRE. Very good. And then Earth, we'll call it Earth. We will not be a conventional empire. We'll start with 500 million pop. I'm fine with that. So that gives us 20 research laboratories, 400 construction factories, 100 ordnance, 40 fighter, 400 mines, and all that good stuff. We also start with 80,000 technology points and 43,000 ship build points. I'll explain this. I'm not going to do a lot of explaining in this series, but I'm just going to explain this real quick. If you don't know what this is, because I've mainly done conventional starts, this basically allows you to start with X amount of tech points, which you can use to instantly research things at the game start, and also start with build points, so you can instantly build ships at the game start. So all that cool stuff. So yeah, we're not going to be playing the Imperium, man. So let's find a nice flag. I like that flag. That flag looks okay for a Federalist. It's a little bit low res though. Let's get something a bit nicer. That looks okay. That looks okay. This looks nice. I like that. Federalist Republic. And then we're going to change our image. Let's get someone a bit more regal. Oh, I like this guy. That guy looks great. Hull-wise, I don't really mind. We can have TIE fighters and star bases. They're fine. Don't really think there's anything else I want to change. Oh, yes, we need to make sure our name themes are set correctly. Let's just go for very common English rank theme. We're going to go with United Kingdom just because I'm from the UK. Just makes better sense for me. And then for our class theme, we're going to go with... for the generic class theme, I'm going to go with Russian survey ships, Royal Navy ships, and the provinces works well. System theme is not going to be Europe. It's just going to be we'll go for Terran Federation, and I think that's it. I think we've got everything we need. These things are okay. Militancy is a little high, but everything looks good there. So let's create our race, and then we'll generate straight in. And then we have a lot to do. So, if you've never done Seat and Start, as I said, we have a lot of designing actually to do. So this first episode is probably just going to be me like designing ships and doing things like to basically get us ready to start. So before we start spending all our points, let us begin making sure we have everything set up correctly. So I want level 5 on my academies. And I also want to assign some governors and get that sorted out for us. So let's do automated assignments. And I'm going to also need to assign my administrator. I'm looking for someone who can do a lot of production to get us moving out there. So good production. I want a civilian admin. 15% here. So we'll assign him directly. Or he's too low rank. Oh, that's fine. We can just promote you. Can we not? No, we can't. So that's unfortunate. So we're going to need someone who's a little higher rank. So it looks like our admin level 5 guy, Max Cook, will have to be the governor of Earth. Oh wait, it's not production correctly. There we go. Production. Assign. It's going to be James Patterson. Now we need to assign scientists. What kind of scientists do we actually have? So we have a 10% power and propulsion. 20% sensors and fire controls. We have energy weapon scientists, defensive, and ground combat. So we're missing construction and logistics, which is kind of a big deal, but that's fine for now. Who has a good research admin capability? You do? Okay, good. You do 15%. You have a 5%. I'm going to put you in here. I'm going to get defensive systems going. And that should all be good. So we have that set up. Now we need to start spending some of our research points. So, okay. So what kind of Remember, we only made 80,000, right? So that correlates to research cost. So we can't exactly just jump in for like antimatter bloody reactors when we don't and then we don't have cryogenic transports. So I think I'm gonna just go with nuclear pulse, to be our starting engine tech. I know it's a little low, but nuclear pulse is generally the area where you can make some military ships, and you are able to do certain things like, and so yeah. So we're gonna go improved pressurized water reactor. We're gonna go for pebble bed, and that will give us nuclear pulse. So we've already spent 10,000 on getting nuclear pulse. The next things I'm gonna get are gonna be just the generic stuff. I want better fuel consumption. That's okay. We're gonna go for capacitor recharge rate, at least a 3. Max engine size is gonna be important. We can grab one of those. And I think that's really all we need. I'm gonna go for jump point theory, of course, as well. We can research this stuff a little bit afterwards. We'll do some soul-based stuff first before we move out. Make sure we get our gravitational and geological survey sensors. I want science department. Yeah, let's get a science department. That gives us not much more. Science department. Good. Defensive systems. Uranium armor. High density uranium. We'll go with that one's pretty cheap, so we're gonna go for that. Looks good. Construction and production. I would like a thorium harvester. Research rate would definitely be very beneficial, so I'm going to up that. Defensive systems, logistics, we're going to need these. So I'm going to get Trans-Newtonian cargo shuttles, tractor beam, and also let's get large fuel storages. Maintenance, that will be important. Boat bay, we're going to grab a boat bay. Okay, and now we've got 12,000 left, so we're gonna probably invest this either into weaponry or into sensors and fire control systems. Let's get some decent-ish sensor capabilities. I'd like some decent sensors. Yeah, those look fine. And then for energy weapons, I think now that's a decision I've got to make. What kind of weapons do we really want? I'm thinking we do some kind of like carronades just because they're cheap and we can make them generally work. I think for this save, I'm going to go specifically for either like lasers and Gauss, railguns and Gauss, go kinetics, and then also go lasers for some other stuff like particle lancers and things like that. Okay, we have 1,400 left. Is there anything that I would really, really like that I have left? Not that I can see that would be affordable. We can get max squadron jump size. We'll grab that. I'll just make it a little easier to get out of the solar system. Okay, so now that we have all of that researched, we can actually start going about designing some ships. So, we're gonna do our commercial ships first because we don't really have weapons. I mean, we have some, but like we don't really have the capability to start building a massive military fleet just yet. So let's start designing some commercial ships. So the first thing we're gonna need, I'm gonna name these off. I think I'm gonna name the classes the first commercial like cargo vessels. We're gonna name them out of like towns or cities or whatever. I mean, I'll have to have a look at the what is it? Yeah, here. So we can have a look at like, can we like get cities, towns, destroyers? Yeah, U.S. city. We can name them counties. We'll name them after United States cities. Just because they generally work pretty well. We'll make sure we select random name, and then obviously with the Federalist Republic, so it's going to be Federalist Republic Starship. So FRSS. The FRSS, and then we're going to call this the New York class cargo ship. We're going to need to add obviously our cargo bay. So we're going to add 25,000 tons. 25, 50,000. I think 50,000 tons will work okay for us here. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Then we need cargo shuttles. I'm gonna make sure we get a few of those. We get diminishing returns now. We're just gonna go with 3 of them. We want a conscript crew because obviously these guys aren't trained. And then yeah, 50,000 tons. So that means that we can do it in multiples of 50. So that'll mean 250. So 5 ships, 250,000. So it'll take 10 ships to move us research lab, and then 1 ship to move 2 per. Okay. Now we just need an engine, right? So let's go for an engine. We want the largest engine you got, and then we want 50% here. That will take some RP to develop. So we got a commercial nuclear pulse drive to 40 EP, and I'm just going to kind of make sure we classify this properly. So class C, so that means class commercial, EP240. Nuclear pulse drive. So EP to T, and I also want to put T3000, so that means tonnage 3000. And then we get what we want. We'll prototype that immediately, and then we can apply that straight to our design. Because I spent a lot of my research points, I'm not going to be able to instantly research this, which is kind of going to be a pain. I think 750 kilometers per second is decent enough for me, to be honest. I don't really see a need for anything else. We're going to go for fuel storage. So that gives us 47.2 billion kilometers of range. Let's go for 1.5 million liters of fuel. That looks good to me. So 721 kilometers per second. Let's copy that class, and we're gonna name this to the let's name it to Amsterdam. Amsterdam class cargo vessel or cargo ship. Let's remove the cargo holds, and this is gonna be our colony ship. Obviously, this is much more expensive, so you have to be very aware of that. So we're gonna reduce that. Remove 2 engines, and then we're going to carry that much. Just because we don't actually need that much transport, because we'll have civvies to do it for us, so it'll be fine. And there you go. That works for me. It's slightly slower, but it'll have a much greater range capability. So we're going to give it that much. No, that much is fine. There we go. And just make sure it's something roundish. Roundish number, so the Amsterdam and that. So we'll make sure we get that researched immediately. And then next we're going to need is troop transports of some kind. So troop transport. Do we have access to troop transports? Oh, I forgot to get them. I didn't do any ground research. That's actually really annoying. Okay. Well, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. What we will need though is a tug. So I'm gonna call this the London class. No, we don't want it to be in London. Do we? What do we know? What tug? Well, yeah, I'll just call commercial ships after cities. It's fine. Tug. And then we'll name this after cities, countries, covenants. There we go. And then FRSS, we name. So we just want a bunch of engines on this one, and then we'll just power that through. That'll be enough for tug. And we'll go for 15 engines on this, and we'll give it its tractor beam. There we go. And then we'll give it enough fuel to get where it needs to go. Give it 1,000,000 liters. And that will be our tug. We're using the same engine in all of these. It just makes it a lot easier in general for what we're going to need. So we have tug cargo ships. We also have colony ships, but I need to actually change that name. Colony ship. Tug colony ship. What else do we need? We're going to need stations, so we're going to. I'm sure we can call them after countries. The first thing I'm going to want is a fuel harvesting station. Fuel harvester. Where the hell is it gone? There we go. Fuel harvester station. No armor. We'll make sure it has plenty of fuel. So we'll give it 8.5 million liters. We'll give it sodium harvesting capabilities. I want it to at least mine 40 modules. That'll also increase it as we get better tech as well. Gives it 1,500 build points. 1.6 million liters of fuel. Make sure we give it a refueling system so it can actually do its job. And then we're going to set it as a tanker. Then we're going to remove its minimum fuel so it doesn't actually bring any fuel with it. And that works out for that. That's class of fuel station. Next, we're going to want... Do I want any other kind of station? Do we even have a terraforming module? No, we do not have a terraforming module. So there's not really much of a point to that. So we're going to delete that. But that'll be our fuel harvesting station. Okay, I think we have most of the commercial ships. We'll need the basic ones. We'll need fuel harvesting, colony, cargo. Eventually, we're going to need a troop transport and then collier and all that stuff. But it's fine for now. Burgundy class. Okay, we're going to now build a science vessel that we will be using for surveillance. Do we really... The question is, for inter-sol stuff, I don't think we're really going to need like an actual vessel for it. So we're going to go for a survey corvette. But then I'm not going to build that one. I'm going to go for a survey craft, and we're going to make a fighter version that will just be for soul assistance and doing stuff for surveying stuff in soul. So engineering spaces, fuel store large, and then we're going to add in gravitational survey sensors. We're going to need an engine, so let's go for a commercial engine. We're going to go for one that's about 200 tons. 200, or so that gives us an EP16. So it's going to be very slow, but it'll spend most of its time surveying at points anyway, so I just want efficiency more than anything. We're going to use the same kind of nomenclature as before, so class F for fighter. I'm going to actually put a .-C there just to indicate that it is also a commercial engine. T200, EP16, nuclear pulse drive. There we go. Prototype that immediately. Prototypes are really, really useful. Grab that, and there you go. So that will set us around there. Oh, that's actually too much. Actually, a little bit too much. Yeah, we can't do that. I'm actually going to remove that as a thing. So I'm going to obsolete that component, and then we're going to prototype a new one. Yeah, that can happen. 50%. Let's go for a 3HS engine then. So go about 1,200 kilometers per second for the actual speed of the vessel. So let's do what we did before. Let's see. T150, EP12, nuclear pulse drive. There we go. Prototype. And we're going to grab that in. There we go. We can probably actually research these, to be honest, immediately. The development cost won't be that large. Okay, now we add in the fuel storages. So we add some tiny fuel storage. So that gives us a grand total of 500 tons. So that makes us a fighter. Gives us grav. Oh yes, the one thing I will actually need to add is some maintenance. Not a lot, but just some. Engineering spaces. There we go. That'll reduce the likelihood of a break. IFR, max repair. Yeah, but if one of them breaks, it's going to be a pain in the ass, isn't it? Let's add a maintenance storage 0.5. Well, that only adds that. Oh, nice. I didn't know they had 5-minute storage bay. Let's add in the small. So that gives us 114, and that will mean that we can repair our geological survey sensors if we really need to. So that looks good. Then we're going to copy this, and I'm going to rename this to the we'll call it the Lancaster class. That's a bit too proper. Let's call we'll call it the Frontier class. Nah, I'm going to do Surveyor makes more sense. We'll call it Surveyor, and then we'll call this one Wayfarer. Yeah. So Wayfarer and Surveyor. And this one we'll get rid of the gravitational and we'll give geological. So geological survey sensors, there we go. And that should be good for both of them. I'm going to make sure that we get proper names. I want to go for, let's go for US Navy survey vessels. They generally have pretty decent names. So we're going to call this FRSS. Boom. And FRSS. Boom. And then we'll go for survey ships. There we go. We can actually probably, once we research, we can probably actually just grab this drive immediately. Yeah, we can. So I'm just going to instant that. And then I'm going to instantly produce 2 of these. So let's do shipyard fleet. And then I'm going to let's buy 2 of those. And then 2 of those. Very good. So that's how we instantly build things, by the way. And yeah, we're going to instantly build both those. Let's get the rest of our designs done. So we got a surveillance craft going well. Now we're going to need a corvette that will use a jump drive, but I don't really have a jump drive yet, so we're going to hold off on that. I am going to make, though, a picket or a small corvette like vessel. So I generally define a corvette around 3,000 tons. So we're gonna do something that's like 1.5 kiloton. And this can be like our Coast Guard. Well, not really gonna be much of a Coast Guard yet, but it will be something. And so it will just be a small vessel. What's your name? What proper name? Patrol ship, I guess, will work for it. Cardigan class patrol ship. I'm gonna rename this to for the Coast Guard. What should we name it? Rivers can work. Thames class. Yeah, we'll call it the Thames class. As you can tell, I'm British. Yeah. We are going to give it some carronades. So, how fast do we want this to? 406 tons. Okay, so to get what we want, if we want 1.5 kiloton, we're going to need it decently fast. We want this to be somewhat fast. So what I'm going to do is design an engine immediately. So considering we want a 1.5 kiloton, I'm thinking we dedicate 33% of the ship towards engines, and I'm going to boost them by somewhat. So size 10 engine will work. So that'll give us 96 engine power, which will be decent. So 12, 96. We don't need that much range either, so I'm actually going to go for a little bit higher engine consumption here. That gives us that much. We'll go for an EP120 drive. I think that'll actually deliver us quite fast, a quite fast ship for quite cheap. Obviously, our fuel usage is off the bleak charts, but it should be fine. So we're just going to call this a Class M. Or we'll call it the Class M, so military. T500, EP120, nuclear pulse drive. Prototype that immediately. And then we will begin designing components. Yeah, we need to get our engine. There we go. And then we've added the engine. We're going to go. We don't really need much armor here. This will just be for planetary protection value and also a few other things. So give it a 6-month patrol period. That gives us plenty of a fast ship there. We don't need that much fuel on this, and I do not need. Yeah, okay. We'll go for carronade, plasma carronade. Thank you. Plasma carronade will go for a 25 centimeter, so that does HS. That's 400. Okay. No, it should provide enough. So 25 centimeter, 16 damage, 160,000 max range. I don't think that we have beam fire control capabilities up to that far. No, we do not. And we also need to improve our fire control rating speed. That's a problem, isn't it? Okay. We'll have to upgrade those eventually. We also have to change around a few other things. So this is the problem. You're never going to get enough research points to do what you really need to. Capacitor, rate 3. We're going to go for 25 centimeters. What is the power output? It's 16. 20 centimeters, 2. We go for 2.5. 20 centimeter, 300 tons. Allow us to allocate 300. 2 of those would be 20 damage, right? But that would be 600 tons, which would mean that would be like 40% of the vessel's total size in weapons. And I'm not too opposed to that. That puts what, like 73%. That's okay, actually. Let's try this. I'll rename it if it works. Carronade 2. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work out. So I'm going to go for the 400-ton larger one. We're going to obsolete this component as well, just to make sure that it doesn't bug me. And then we're going to go back to plasma carronades. Let's design something. Okay, yeah. Plasma carronade 3, 400 tons. That's plenty. That does 16 damage, wait for 30 seconds. And then we're going to call this the Mark 1 naval cannon. Naval patrol cannon. DO16, ROF 30, rate of fire, and then T400. Okay, there we go. Just to make sure that we know exactly what we're putting onto our ships. And then we're going to go for the carronade, make sure we add that. There we go. Fuel-wise, we're going to put in fuel. 100,000 liters works fine for me. Now we're going to need sensors, so looks like we can get about 4,500 kilometers per second ship, which is okay. I mean, it's not amazing, but it'll do the job. Yeah, so that provides us 8 PPV capability. So PPV equals 1 HS of weapon. So this is 400 tons, so that means 8. Because each HS is 50 tons. And now we're going to add in a reactor. So let's go for a reactor. We're going to need a very small one. 50 tons will suffice. And we'll call this Mark 1 naval reactor PO 3.2. There we go. And we're going to need some active sensor capabilities. We'll go for a size 2.5 active sensor. So we'll go for Mark 1 active search sensor. And we'll call it RRMR. Max range 35 million. Max range 35. T125. Just to make sure I know what I'm looking at. Okay, good. Missiles are gonna hit. This thing can't shoot missiles, so if it gets hit, it's not gonna matter. Beam fire control. We have really bad tech in this, so I'm gonna go for 4x range. That's still not enough to meet what I need. And then for tracking, God, that's so large. We'll go 2x on that. 2500. So our weapons will actually track much slower. Yeah, we really need to buff this tech as soon as possible. I'm not gonna name this. I'm gonna wait until we can actually get some better technology for that. Beam fire control. Whoa. I see. That's a problem, isn't it? That's a bit of an issue. So that's 125. So we need to remove 150 tons. And the only way we're gonna remove 150 tons is Ooh, that give us 2.6 billion kilometer. I need to remove another 50. Nearly 100, my bad. The only way I'm going to achieve that is by making this beam fire control worse. And if I make this beam fire control worse, not going to have a fun time, am I? Yeah, this ship probably won't face combat anyway, to be fair. But it should do okay. So that'll be 100 tons. Name it after this. It is the worst fire control I've ever made in my life, but it will actually allow us to shoot things, and that's the only thing it really matters for. Of course, I could just make a bad ship and just give it weapons, and it wouldn't really matter, but I'm not really into that right now. And then we also need our reactor. We don't have a reactor just yet. So 1.5 kiloton, power output 3, tracking capability 16.3. Yeah, we need to remove. I'm gonna have to reduce them. Why don't you do this engineering? Go to this engineering. We can make do. 2-year maintenance life, and then we'll just add in some fire fuel right there. So yeah, it's a pretty bad design. It goes 4,000 kilometers per second though. Has access to a good decent cannon. Has no armor or defenses. Has the worst fire control I've ever made. But it will do its job, and that job is probably planetary protection value and also to patrol the nearby area around space. So overall, I'm decently happy with it. We don't really have the capability to design any more military vessels at this point, so I'm not going to. But yeah, I think that's where we're gonna end this episode off. I hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode of Raw Facts Sharp Uncut. I know this is a bit odd. You know, there's not much story. It's just me playing the game, designing things. And this episode, we didn't really do much. We just designed vessels and set up our nation. We haven't even gone to the industry yet or done any of that. We've just been designing things. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Please like, comment, subscribe. It really does help out. Bye bye.